Hey guys, let's jump right into another one of these fun videos where we go on Reddit and see what people are reporting. Right off of the top, somebody made this post asking if there's any good haunted places to visit in Mississippi. The person says that they want to take their wife there for Valentine's Day. I do not recommend taking your wife to a quote haunted place for Valentine's Day. Don't go looking for spirits because you have no idea what you're looking into. You know, I kind of understand the desire to do ghost hunting and to try to see something that you don't normally see on a daily basis. Like, I get it. Like, I did it for the thrill, and I did it. Originally, I started ghost hunting because I wanted to prove to the world that I wasn't crazy and that there were indeed spirits, ghosts were real. My stepdad did not believe most of what I said that I saw in the house, and so it was actually his comments of disbelief that propelled me into paranormal investigation. So, I mean, I kind of get the reasons for that. I am not justifying it. Again, I do not think that we humans should be pushing into things like that. But what I really don't understand is posts like this one where somebody is asking where they can collect haunted or cursed objects. Why would you want to bring something into your home or into your collection that is supposed to be haunted or cursed, especially if you believe in such things? Like, you really believe that this thing is cursed, you really believe it's going to bring bad luck to wherever it goes. Why would you want to bring that to yourself? I don't really get the mentality of that. So if you guys could help me to understand, maybe you collect things that are kind of weird and maybe you understand, let me know in the comments why you do this, why you collect weird stuff. Okay guys, so I used to collect arrowheads, and I never really saw anything wrong with collecting arrowheads. However, I found one that was in the backyard of the haunted house where I grew up. And yeah, I can't say that everything started around the same time that I found that arrowhead. I don't remember. I just know things started whenever I was like a young teenager. But I have a strong suspicion that that arrowhead probably did cause some paranormal stuff to stir up in the house. I held on to it for most of my young life, and I was really proud of it. It was, a really pretty white arrowhead. It was about this big, had a nice rounded kind of body. There was just one little chip on it right here. But yeah, it was a nice looking arrowhead. I was proud of it, and I held on to it for most of my young life. And for most of my young life, I was also extremely targeted by demons or whatever. So years go by, and one night I have a dream that that arrowhead was used in some kind of a ritual, and it was used to unalive somebody. So that dream was kind of shocking, and it was so realistic. It's almost like I was like looking back in time at the man who possessed that artifact, that arrowhead. It was really creepy, the dream was very graphic. There was a lot of blood. So whenever I woke up from that dream, I was like, okay, maybe this artifact is one reason why I've experienced so much demonic activity throughout my life. And so I prayed about it, and I felt like God was calling me to destroy that arrowhead, and I did. I took it outside and I literally grinded it to powder, and it was unrecognizable by the time I was done with it. And I gotta say, after that, the demonic stuff did not totally stop. To this day, it doesn't totally stop. But I do feel like there was a change in the atmosphere, at the very least a change in my personal space. And I do believe that that arrowhead was very likely cursed. The reason why I say that the demonic stuff did not cease at that moment and that it continues to this day is because those of us who are believers, we are really in tune with the spiritual world. And whenever you become a believer, like for example, me, I'm a believer in Christ. Whenever you become a believer in Christ, you step into spiritual warfare, right? In fact, I've heard that if nothing is going wrong in your life, if Satan isn't messing with you, it means you're probably doing something wrong, because it shows that you are not an active threat to the enemy. Obviously, if you're engaged in spiritual warfare, the enemy is going to try to attack. That's just part of warfare. And you are going to be making advances against the enemy's territory. I mean, after that experience especially, I really don't understand why people would want to collect things like that. Wait a minute, doesn't Zak from the Ghost Adventures collect stuff like that? Ghost Adventures. Yeah, Zak Bagans from the Ghost Adventures. He has a haunted museum where he collects cursed objects, and I've heard that he's kind of lost his mind at times. Seems like he's given himself over to possession more than once. That's not something I would recommend. So I'm looking here at another Redditor's post who said that they went through this haunted museum owned by Zak Bagans. I think it's in Las Vegas, isn't it? It says that in the museum you can find some creepy looking objects like Peggy the doll, Gretchen the doll, the devil's rocking chair, objects from people who have unalived other people. Why, man? Why do you want all of that in your possession? Do you guys think that Zak Bagans has actually been possessed? Or do you think that it's all for show? And do you think that these objects are actually cursed? I heard a story not too long ago about someone who took one of these supposed cursed dolls out of its exhibit box, and they were warned not to do so, and then just a couple days later or something, they stopped living? It's crazy. What was that? Yeah, here's a news story that says paranormal investigator dies on tour with allegedly haunted doll Annabelle. That's what it was. Yeah, that is so creepy. Dan Rivera, 54 years old, the organization's leader, suddenly dropped out of this plane of existence after handling this doll. It happened on a Sunday during his visit to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. He was leading the Devils on the Run tour. Why do we want to mess around with this kind of stuff, guys? Why bring this kind of evil into your life? This is the doll that was popularized in the 2013 horror movie The Conjuring. It was reported to have moved on its own, leaving notes and psychic slashes on victims. That could very well be demonic activity right there. The doll was given over to late paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, who kept it in their occult museum based in Monroe, Connecticut. Rivera, who said that Lorraine Warren had mentored him, told participants about the precautions he had taken to protect them from the doll's supposed hauntings. What Lorraine would say was to protect yourself, it is to close your eyes and envision yourself in a halo of white light. This is dark stuff. Let's move on to a different topic. I want to know from those of you who collect arrowheads and artifacts like that, have you ever had any kind of paranormal activity taking place in your house? Do you think it has anything to do with those artifacts? I am really curious, and I would love to read your stories. Here's an interesting one to kind of get away from the demonic stuff. Maybe this is demonic too, I don't know. Someone said that they had an experience with a not deer that's kind of like a coyote. They said that this was recent, and whenever it happened, they were driving, it was dark outside, they had their brights on, and they saw a group of deer, I guess, near the road. Then the poster said that there was something slightly in the road, so maybe that means like off to the side of the road, or kind of like partially in the road. And it was gray in color and had yellow eyes. They said that it was like a coyote, but then it was a deer. And they said that its movement was strange. So are we talking about a shape-shifting creature? Is this something that was a coyote that shapeshifted into a deer? Or does it mean that it was a smaller creature that became something larger? I would like to know where this happened. I would like to know what kind of animals are often seen in this area. Are we driving through the woods? Are we just right outside of a town? There's not a lot of information here. I wish that there were. Do we think that this was a Chupacabra? Aren't they said to be kind of grayish in color, almost the size of a coyote? I think I've also heard that Chupacabra has yellow glowing eyes at times. Let's look up some stuff about Chupacabra and see if the description fits. Oh yeah, like almost every photo I'm looking at here kind of fits that description. I wonder if the Chupacabra is just like a weird sort of breed of coyotes or something like that. Someone here is making the point that Chupacabras have such a varied description of how it looks. Sometimes it almost looks like a lizard creature, other times it looks like a mutated coyote, a rabid dog. Sometimes it has saber-tooth-like fangs, other times it seems to have your average canine fangs. Oh, what could that be? Someone said that a very common theory is that the Chupacabra is actually coyotes with mange or hair loss. That kind of makes sense. The thing that always kind of freaked me out about these things is that supposedly they drink the blood of the animals that they take down. And when I say they drink the animal's blood, I mean like completely. The body will sometimes be completely void of blood, and there won't be any obvious signs of like an attack other than sometimes just like 2 small incisions on the animal's body. And this has happened to several different kinds of animals, especially farm animals. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to have had a lot more information about this sighting if it did indeed happen. Let me know. Have you guys ever seen a Chupacabra? Have you guys ever seen anything out in the woods that you just could not explain? It doesn't have to be Chupacabra. It could be Bigfoot. It could be a Mothman. It could be something else that no one else has ever even reported, if that's even possible at this point. Because man, oh man, it seems like there are so many strange cryptids that are being reported on a daily basis, especially here on Reddit. It's hard telling what is out there, guys. I mean, here we've got a post of somebody saying they had an encounter with a cat demon and a dog man, so there's a lot going on out there. Let me know. Have you guys seen anything? How did you feel in the moment? Did you get any evidence? What do you think it was? Tell me in the comments. I want to read your stories. And if you guys ever want me to feature one of your stories, just reach out to me and hey, maybe we can make that happen. Anyway, thank you for watching. You guys have a wonderful night. God bless. I'm out.